little wacky. We got a good couple days in practice and was able to lock in, and they're good to see them go down.
Kevin, last season as well, you guys came out of the All-Star break pretty hot. Is it as simple as getting rest and kind of getting your legs back underneath you and just kind of recharging and refreshing, or does it go a little bit deeper with that or with this team?
Yeah, I think everyone needs it across that. So I think everyone looks forward to the All-Star break, but it's really the home stretch. You know, this is year 6 going through it. The rest of the season from here on out will fly by, and we need every game. Yeah, we're in a dogfight here in the West, and we can feel the urgency of every game. And so I think everybody got a little mental refresh, and we're back ready to go.
Kevin, what did you make of just some of those plays down the stretch outside of the dunks that were on Collins, even De'Aaron Fox coming up defensively with that steal on Vessel?
That was one of the freakiest defensive plays I think I've ever seen that up close. Like, for him to be beat like that backdoor, recover to it, jump in the air, and then find and be able to palm the ball like that as he's going out, like that was a ridiculous defensive play, and a handful of guys across the league that can make that. And Vassell was tough all night. But Fox made a huge play when we needed it, and on both sides of the ball he made plays for us. But that was a crazy defensive play.
Kevin, Domas was sick all day long yesterday, and then today for him to come out and put up 20, 22, 11, and 11, just how impressive is what he's doing just every single night.
Yeah, he's been sick, but he probably needs a rest more than any of us. That guy's a gladiator. He's in every night, plays heavy minutes. He gets beat up. Wasn't sure if he was going to go. Like, again, we haven't seen him the last couple of days, and he showed up here ready to play, and wouldn't really expect anything different. And I think got his lungs back underneath him in that first half, and was huge for us. Again, a typical night for him.
Kev, you talked about the sense of urgency coming out of the break. Like, you just kind of elaborate on that and just how important like all these games are and how big it is to come away with a win tonight.
Yeah, I mean, over the course of the season, it's hard not to look ahead of that All-Star break. I think you get to a certain point once you get through Christmas and through December, and January feels super long, and that All-Star break it's not a halfway point, but for a playoff team, it sort of is. And so we got no more breaks. Like I said, everything from here on out will feel like it's downhill. It's going to fly by. We got 27 games left, but these are going to fly by, especially playing a lot of these at home. And so I talked about it. You look at the West, we can't afford to have any nights off, and every team we play is going to be tough.
Kind of building off of that, some people think the regular season is meaning less and less and less. Of course, you guys want to get back to the playoffs and build off of last season, but how important is this stretch in the Western Conference race to, you think, building and developing this team into the contender that you want to become?
Yeah, we got to use every practice, every game to do that. More consistent across the board, and we've beaten the best teams this year, and we've lost to some teams that are struggling this season. So I just think continuing to find that consistency night in and night out, the urgency to show up, especially doing the little things at home in front of our own crowd is huge for us. And like I said, we'll take it one game at a time, but everyone is big.
Kev, you guys had talked a lot about perimeter defense over the last couple of days, and I saw Mike obviously burn that early timeout. How do you feel you guys were from that moment on tonight?
We were pretty good. We weren't our best. I think, to be honest, I think I was pretty horrible defensively tonight. Luckily, I made shots. But I think it's just coming out with the right mindset. Again, that was an effort play he thought we didn't make early. Just trying to set the tone the right way. And they made tough shots. Wemby's obviously tough. Certain shots he takes, he really can't do much about. But, Foxy at the point of attack, I think ball pressure. I think Davion coming in, ball pressure. And the rest of us trying to fly around the best we can. It wasn't our best defensive effort, but we made enough plays to win at the end of the game.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
that is, I don't get the reference, but, okay, I'm like, sounds interesting. Well, Andrew, looks like, they have to check out faces, whatever it is. That's no state legend.
Everything else was Steve.
Darren, I guess two things. One, if you could just talk about kind of the importance of coming away with a win here tonight, and then, like, secondly, that defensive play at the end. It was, Kev said it was ridiculous, and can you walk us through that, kind of what happened there?
I mean, at this point in the season, obviously you want wins. You rather wins. You don't care how they come. I think there were stretches where we were just turning the ball over too much, and they were getting out in transition and getting easy baskets. But we were able to execute down the stretch, and that was big for us. Obviously, Devin hit some tough shots, and I mean he was great all night long, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. And for me, I mean, I was trying to deny, and he's a good cutter, so he got back door, and it's just not giving up on the play. It was either you do that or you try to foul him. Don't let him get his arms up. But I just went for the ball and was able to get the ball.
Were you surprised that you were able to get it?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I feel like I have pretty good recovery speed, and I knew that he was going for the dunk, so like there wasn't much movement that was probably going to happen. So, like I said, I just swung and I was able to get it.
And then, Domas obviously being a little bit of a game time decision for you guys tonight, and he looked obviously pretty incredible. Just that matchup, especially for him to go up against a guy like Wemby and kind of use a lot of his experience against a guy like that, how challenging do you think he had it tonight?
I mean, nothing can prepare you for that type of length. Like, doesn't matter who you play against. If it's not Wemby, nothing prepares you for that. So, obviously he's older, he's stronger than most in this league, and just obviously you go up against someone like that, you try to go into their chest, you try to make it a physical game. At the end of the day, obviously he's going to block shots regardless of how the game's going. He's going to get 2 or 3 blocks no matter what happens. But that can really weigh on you. You get hit over and over again. It's a physical game, and that's the way Domas plays. And obviously, this is Wemby's first year in the league, and that's kind of what I feel like everybody was like, oh, can he handle the physicality? I think he can. I think you kind of have to get used to it and then learn how to dish it out without fouling. But Domas did what he does.
Yeah, you talked about Domas doing what he does. Is it surprising, and how much do you guys need to make sure that it isn't lost on your team that he's going out there almost every night and putting up a triple-double and a double-double?
I mean, like we've talked about it before. You try not to. You don't want to become numb to what he's doing. Like that's not normal. It's only been done, a few times in this game, and the fact that he's available every night is big for us because he plays so hard. He plays so physical. He could easily be one of those guys that take a few nights off. But like I said, he came in today, and you couldn't get him to not play today. He was a game time decision, but he wasn't not going to play. So that's leading by example. If something's hurt, he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna go out there and play, give him my all, and then you live with the results. And that's what you want out of somebody who's one of the best players in this league, who should be an MVP candidate. I don't know how many of those guys haven't missed a game yet, but he's definitely up there.
Fox, the importance of these games down the stretch speak for themselves, but I'm curious. Obviously, the goal is to get back to the playoffs to build off of last year's playoff series. But in your mind, and maybe if Mike's talked about it, how important is this stretch in the Western Conference race, and how significant all these games are to, you think, building to where you guys want to get to that contendership status?
I mean, it's huge. You obviously, there are different spots where you can come after All-Star break and you could be fighting for a playoff spot, or you can come after All-Star break and you can be counting the days down until the season's over. And with the way that the West is right now, obviously at the beginning of the year, every game matters, but right now you can win one game or lose one game and you can move up or down 3 or 4 spots. Like that's how close it is right now, and we know that every game is important. That's why I said sometimes you'd always rather a win than a loss, no matter how they come, but especially right now, you'd rather that. But you try to build as much momentum as you can going into that first round of the playoffs, and then there's no stopping right now. It's you're in a full throttle right now.
Now that you played against Wemby, is there anything about him that surprised you?
I don't know if I would say. I mean, I don't know if people know he shoots like almost 50% on step back threes. Like, it's crazy. But I mean, I think nothing surprises me, obviously. But I think as he gets older and he gets more efficient and he makes the game look a lot easier, I think it's gonna be ridiculous. But nah, I mean, all the film that you've seen on him before coming into the league is what he does. So nah, nothing surprises you about him.
Down the stretch, it seemed like you and Keegan were kind of switching back and forth on Devin. What does it mean for you to have someone who you can rely on, so you're not constantly having to guard the opposing teams?
I mean, it's big. I think Keegan took a really big jump in that department this year, and I think obviously everyone here has seen it. But that's a challenge, being able to do that night in and night out. He's done it well for us this year, whether it's guarding ISOs, getting through picks, getting through pin downs. Whatever it is, he's been amazing at that. And there's just at times you just want to throw something different. We're different defenders. He's longer, more of a shot blocker. He can give you a little more space because he's bigger. And then I'm more getting to the ball, just trying to pressure, get guys to turn their back. So it's definitely, it's just throwing different personnel at you, different coverages at you. And like I said, I mean, Devin was great tonight. Nothing really bothered him, but we were able to squeeze out the win.
I tell you what, our guys just kind of found a way tonight. It wasn't pretty at all, and you give a lot of credit to San Antonio. They played a heck of a game. I thought Vassell was really really good. He was a handful for us tonight. He had tough shot after tough shot after tough shot, and I thought some of them that he hit were, man, they were contested. I mean, the three that he hit across from their bench with about 2 minutes to go, I think, in the game, that was a big time shot. But again, I give our guys a lot of credit. Even after that three, we could have folded or threw in the towel, but our guys just stayed with it and found a way. Even so much so, Foxy gets beat back door, and the way he recovered was amazing. And sometimes that has to happen, and that's what I mean by finding a way, because we always say, hey, if you're going to get beat back door, make sure your guy runs through your chest, and we got beat back door on multiple occasions tonight. And for him to come up with that block at that point in the game was huge. He was great for us offensively as well, with the 28 points and 9 assists and 5 rebounds. I thought Kevin was really good. He shot the ball, especially early when the ball wasn't going in. He shot the ball and kept us in the game, helped us get the lead. Malik was a monster off the bench. Keegan was really solid. And the reality of it is Domas had a huge game for us. This is his 19th triple-double in the year. He leads the league with that. Again, he doesn't get enough credit for it. This is his 38th double-double in a row. The crazy part about it, it's not just the fourth longest on the season. It's like, I think, fourth longest since the ABA and NBA emerged, or came together, if I'm saying that right. So to have 38 double-doubles in a row is phenomenal, and we needed every single rebound and point that he put that he got for us tonight. So just a great way to find a way to get a win versus a young team that plays extremely hard and gave us fits tonight.
Mike, you mentioned Domas. Just how close was it for him not playing? Was it a tough sell on him? It looked like he came out and was incredible, like you mentioned.
No, he was. He was really, really good. We went through all the protocol. There was a chance that he wasn't going to play, but everything just kept checking out as we were going down the list of what we need to check on. And obviously for him to get a triple-double and impact the game the way he did was phenomenal.
Mike Deere, with the block, steal, whatever it was at the end, you talk about that all the time, the second to third effort. Is that just part of what you have to have in the second half of the season, guys giving it all?
100%. I took the quick timeout when they hit that three in the corner in front of our bench, because we made a mistake defensively, but then we stopped playing. And we can't have that, because trust me, you're going to make mistakes. Nobody's going to play a perfect game of basketball on both sides of the floor. It's what do you do when you make the mistake? And we didn't do what we needed to on that play. I took the timeout, and for Foxy to come up with that play defensively, especially at that point in the game, was huge because he didn't quit.
Mike, you talk about buy-in and belief and those things. Like as a coach, I wonder when you hear Fox, and I assume you hear him and the level of buy-in that he expresses to us all the time with regard to defense, like how much does that help your belief as a coach that you guys can get to where you want to go?
It's huge, Jay, because at the end of the day, I've never been part of a team that was great in this league where it didn't come from the players. And so it has to come from the players. It has to start there, and it has to end there. Sooner or later, they're gonna hate hearing my voice, and they got to police one another and hold each other accountable. And when you get to that point and they really believe in it and it's really happening, you can have some special things happen for your team.
Seeing Wemby in person, the fans seeing him for the first time in Sacramento, did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, he's a generational talent. You know, at that size, I still don't know how he moves. I watch him and I don't think it's real. But obviously it is, you know, because he's putting up the numbers and he's doing it right in front of my face. But definitely great for the NBA. I wish he was in the East. Sorry, Pop. But man, it's just a treat for everybody to come see a guy that size do the things that he can do.
Mike, I think a lot of people naturally think to the playoffs and as the way that this team can build upon last year and get closer to being a contender like you've talked a lot about. But can you share specifically how this final stretch of the season, with how tight the West is in the race for even a playoff spot, how you can use that to also build to being a contender?
Every time we step on the floor, because we're in a completely different situation than last year. You know, like I said, last year we were injury-free. There were no expectations. And so it was just happy-go-lucky, pat me on my back, feel good about what's going on, and we'll take whatever comes our way. No pressure. This year it's a little different. You know, coming into the season, there were expectations, and you know, we talked until we were blue in the face to our guys that, and everybody else. At the end of the day, we probably put more expectations on ourselves than anybody else. But you can still, you know, everybody's human, and if you haven't been in this position before, especially in the position that you're in individually, i.e. Malik Monk, never been in this position before in terms of how much we need him and how much his impact helps this team. But he's never been in this position before being the hunted with the expectations and then dealing with the injuries that we've dealt with. Fox hasn't. Thomas, Kevin Herter. I mean, you can go down the line. The one guy that HB might have been in this position before, but not many of our guys. And so every time we step on the floor, especially from this point forward, because of where we're sitting in the standings, it's a different feeling that they haven't gone through. And we have to perform at a high level to get a win just to get into the playoffs. So we're fighting for our lives right now, and it's great because you need experience in order to grow. And sometimes you need adversity in order to grow. And that's the best or the quickest way you'll be able to learn, by going through something, falling on your face, and getting up and figuring it out. You know, because that's when it stings the most. So I like all this stuff for us. We need it. We're going to embrace it. And at the end of the day, I believe this group can get it done.
Coach Brown, I'm sorry. Kevin Herter, you just mentioned too. He started off the game. I think he hit his first three pointers. He did some things, you know, getting assists and some rebounds. Looked like he's refreshed, you know, from the break. Just want to get your thoughts about how he played tonight, because he looked really comfortable the way he started.
Yeah, no, you know, like I said, he was great for us, especially early on, because we couldn't buy a basket. And, you know, with his ability to create separation without the basketball, and, you know, our guys doing a great job of getting him free with screens and all that, got him some good looks, and he knocked them down. And like I said, you know, the ball wasn't going in for most of us early on, so we needed every one of those threes to not only try to gain a little bit of separation, but just to gain the confidence that we need to stay into the game when they went on a run. So big night for him, shooting the basketball. You know, I thought he was decent rebounding the ball, but also I thought he did a pretty good job playmaking too. He made the right pass at the right time, and got other guys involved just because of his velocity or speed, and when it came to creating separation, and the way he shot the ball, you know.
Coach, going back to the buy-in conversation, De'Aaron seems to really be buying in, especially defensively. I'm just curious, from your point of view, when you stepped into this role at the beginning of last season, how have you seen his growth on that side of the ball, and what kind of expectations do you have for him moving forward on that side?
I think Foxy can be one of the best two-way guys to play in the NBA. And, you know, I've said it many times before. I coached him at a camp when he was in high school. And I'll never forget, I've been in the league a long time. Even back then, I'd been in the league for a while. And I was just amazed at his strength for a smaller guy. You know, he's wiry thin, but he's wiry strong too. And he's not as big as old school Reggie Williams from Georgetown University, but Reggie Williams from Georgetown University, I coached him. He was about this big, but he had a wiry strength about himself that I think Fox does too. And so when you're that athletic, you're that quick, you're that long, you can be a great defender, but it takes a lot of will and want to be able to do it. And I do. I think he's starting to figure out, but he's just scratching the surface because it takes a lot to defend at the level that he's going to be capable of at the end of the day. And he's heading that way, which is impressive upon himself. Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.